Hey YouTube, today I'm just going to be showing you guys how to make a Baddie YouTube intro. Alright y'all, the first thing you want to do is put all your pictures and videos in a separate album because you don't want to keep going back and back and back trying to find the photo that you made a couple days ago or that you took a couple weeks ago. So I highly recommend doing that. It's just way easier. And the second thing you need to do is find 4 backgrounds that you like. Now the reason we're finding 4 is because I will be splitting the sections up into 4 pieces because it's just easier to add it that way. And with the app that we're going to be using, they do have a certain limit amount of layers you can use. So the best way to do it is to just split it up into 4 parts. Now I did decide today that my intro is going to be pink, and as you can see I picked these 4 backgrounds. They look so cute. But now I'm just going to show you guys how I looked them up and where I got them from, and then you guys can find your 4 backgrounds and then we can get started into making our intro. So it did take me a little bit of time to find 4 backgrounds that kind of went with each other, but the outcome came out really good. And like I said, you guys need to find 4 backgrounds, and then after that we can get straight into making the intro. So the first thing we're going to do after that is go right into CapCut, one of the 3 apps we're going to be using today. So yes, for this Baddie YouTube intro, you do only need 3 of these apps. They are all free, they all work very well, and yeah, let's get into it. Once you click into it, you just want to start a new project, and the first thing you want to put down is all 4 of your backgrounds. So you do want to make sure that your format is in the YouTube format because you don't want to make a whole intro and it's not going to fit YouTube. So all you have to do is go to format, put it in the correct format, and just make sure that all of your backgrounds are zoomed in all the way, are turned the right way, and it's going to completely fit the screen.
I know the risk you're taking. You look like you're not sure. You're saying that I'm faking.
And now as y'all can see, I'm just rearranging the backgrounds because I do want the money one to be all the way in the back and the glitter one to be in the front. Now we're going to head over to PixArt to make our first cutout.
Can't you see?
And here's one I made before. It does allow you to make the outline and the shadow on the cutout in PixArt. So I'm just going to show you guys how I did that as well. First thing I did was click the little plus sign I have all the way at the bottom. Then I went to color backgrounds all the way at the bottom. Now you want a transparent background, which essentially is the little checkered background they have up there. And you want that because it means that when you cut yourself out, you're not going to have anything behind you. And we want that for the intro. So now I'm just going to pick a photo and cut myself out. To cut yourself out is actually really easy. PixArt did add a little cutout section where you can just press person and it's going to cut your whole body out. Although it doesn't do a very good job most of the time, it does give you an outline of what you should have and what you don't want to have. It also does lessen the time, and even though it doesn't get everything as you would hope it would, it does do majority of your job for you. When doing a cutout, you just gotta be really careful about which pictures you choose because PixArt does not do a good job with poofy hair. As you can see, I do just have to kind of round it off myself. But after that, I'm just going to save it. And then I'm just going to size it correctly because I did blow it up a little too big. And after that, I'm just going to head over to border. I'm going to click any color I want, and then I'm just going to make it as thick as I would like it to be. Now I do want it to stand out, so having an outline is actually very important when it comes to that matter, and having a shadow as well is important too. It just gives it a little bit more depth, makes it stand out, and it makes it look good. So you guys should definitely add an outline and a shadow to all of your cutouts. After you save your cutout, you're just going to head right over into Fonto, and this is where we're going to make all of the titles for our intro. But I want to show you guys something first. A lot of the time when you're using an app that allows you to make text within the app, they might not have the font you like or the font you want. It might be a bunch of ugly fonts or a bunch of bold fonts, but there is a way to get around that with Fonto. all you have to do is just look up to font.com, and it's just going to give you a bunch of fonts. Now, you can pick the font off gate, but if you want to preview what the word is going to look like in that font, all you have to do is pick one of these little red buttons at the top. It's like different categories you can pick, and then type your name in like so, hit submit, and then it's just going to bring up a bunch of different fonts in the category that you pick and the name that you put in. From this point, you're just going to see which one you like, and then after that we're going to download them and then send them right into Fonto. So for example, I'm just going to download a random font, and it should pop up. So after you press the little circle at the top, you're going to press the font, and then give it a second, and then it's going to pop up in a little Fonto logo in front. And then you're just going to press the little send button, and it's going to say Fonto, and you just press it, and it should pop up that font was now downloaded. So now we're going to start a new project. I do have to say, you really want to avoid picking a color that's going to be really close to the color of your words, because if you do and you try to remove the background, it's not going to work. So I'm just going to be choosing green because my words are going to be gray, black, and pink. So now I'm just going to put the title of my name into the text, Naturally Brie. I do want more of a bold font, so that is what I'm going to go for. So once the font that you're trying to download is fully downloaded, if you click over into My Fonts, this should pop up as well, and then you just click install, and now you have it. I am going to be putting my name twice in the end. You guys will understand what I'm talking about when we actually put it on the intro and the background. But since I did not have the font I wanted for this pink color here, I did have to go back onto font.com and download a whole other font. But besides that, I'm just going to be color coding everything, making everything the same color, and you guys will see that in just a second. So here you also want to put all of the names of all of your social handles that you're going to be having in the intro. It's just easier to do it like this so you can keep it going. You don't want to have to come back after every time you finish a section. So if you could think of all of the names you're going to be using, it would be best to just do it now and create it now. So when you're doing it, you can just do it more efficiently. After playing around with the font, I did get this type of style that just looks really nice. It makes the words look a little bit more in depth, and as you can see, it looks really bold. And that's what I'm going for, so I really like it. If you guys want to take that technique and use it, you can. You can switch your colors around and things like that. So this is how I created it. I just put two colors on the outside and the color on the inside. And all you have to do to get to this point is just press create color pattern, and boom, there you go. So for this intro, I will only be putting 2 of my Instagram accounts, and that is because I barely use Snapchat and I barely use TikTok. So I figured I'd put those if I only use 2. And those are my Instagram accounts. So I have a main account and an edit page, which you can gladly go follow. I would definitely put it in the description. But like I was saying, that's why you see me putting main and edit page. The recording I initially did sadly did get deleted, but I did go back and do it for you guys. And here I'm just putting Naturally Brie up there, the first one I want behind my second one. So as you guys can see, to take out the color in the background, I'm just going to press chroma key and pick a color and then intensify it so I can take out all of that color. And it also shows you shadow, and I highly recommend that as well because it's just adding depth to it. And sometimes when you take out the color, it takes out the depth as well. So I'm going to be doing that for my words. So next I'm just going to be adding my second Naturally Brie, the pink one, and it's just going to go a little bit under the first one. So now I'm just going to take the first cutout I made and put it on the sides. So now I'm just going to copy it, and as you can see, I'm just going to flip it onto the other side. So now I'm just going to choose an animation. I do prefer to make the animations a little bit slower, because when they're slower they bounce or move for a little bit longer. But if you want them to go really fast, as you can see, you can just move the little dial on the top of the transitions and just make it personal to your liking. And they have a bunch of transitions to choose from, so that's pretty good. I've realized that when you make an animation for it to come in, it won't let you make an animation for it to come out, because once you do so, it deletes the animation where it comes in. But an easy way to get around that is to basically make the animation come in, split it in half, and then make the animation come out on the second part. So now we're just going to head over to PixArt and get a phone to hold our social handles, and all you have to do is go all the way down to the bottom to color backgrounds like we did before, and then press sticker and look up the phone that you have. For this next part, you are going to need the screenshot of your social handles, and for me, it's just going to be a screenshot of my main page and a screenshot of my edit page. And the reason you have to look up the exact phone that you have is because that sticker is going to have to fit in that phone, and if you get the wrong phone or an outline that's not fit to the phone that you have, it's not going to fit the screenshot. So now that we have the phone up, all we're going to do now is just change the color of the phone, and to do so, all you have to do is press apply, go to FX, and scroll all the way down to colors. From here, you're just going to play around and see what colors that you like, but for me, it's just going to be pink since I want to match my background and my theme. So from there, all you want to do is take the screenshot of your social handle and make it fit to the size of the phone. To make the screenshot look a little bit more realistic, all we're going to do is head over to Shape Crop, pick the rectangular shape, make it cover the whole screenshot, and then put it back into the phone. This is going to round the corners, making it look just a little bit more realistic. So to make the phones not look just basic, all we're going to do is play around with the perspective. You want to start a whole new project for this, meaning going all the way back to color backgrounds and picking the one we've been using repeatedly. And then you want to put the phone into the background, but you want to put it back far enough to the point where you can pull the phone closer by playing around with the perspective and not cut the phone off. Now I did mess up before, so I'm just letting you guys know you want to give yourself enough space to pull the phone closer and not cut any other phone off. So be sure to remember that and be sure to give yourself that space. So here I'm just going to do the same thing for my second Instagram account, and I'm just going to flip it onto the other side. So now we're just going to head back, and I'm just going to put a transition between the first background and the second background. For that transition, I did choose the camera shutter. I did push some of my overlays back as well because they were going past the transition, making it not look as smooth. But yeah, I chose the camera shutter and it came out really nice, so if you guys want to use that, you can. Like I said before, now I'm just going to place everything, add animation and things like that. So after saving those two parts together, I just came back and wanted to add a little bit more touches to it. Like I said, they did have a little max limit to put on the overlays that you can have, but to avoid that, all you gotta do is just save the progress that you've done, create a new project, and then just continue. But like I was saying, I just came back and added some little images to make it a little bit more stylish. To get the Polaroid outline, all I did was just look up Polaroid PNG, save it, and then I placed it onto the intro. You don't have to crop the picture perfectly, but what you want to do after you crop it is fit it as far in the box that you can. And then you want to press on layer and put it as the first layer, and then the second layer is going to be the Polaroid PNG, which is basically just going to be on top. When you place it on top, you can no longer see the outline of the picture under it, so when you place it on top, that is why it doesn't have to be cropped perfectly. So y'all, the trick to getting in the move at the same time is basically putting the transition time the same. If on the Polaroid PNG it takes 5 seconds for it to come in and 5 seconds for it to leave, all you need to do is in the inner picture make it 5 seconds for it to come in and 5 seconds to leave, and then you have to put the transition the same, and therefore they should come in at the same time. And if they don't, you just have to play with it a little bit, probably make the PNG move a little faster and then the inner picture move a little slower, and yeah, that's how you make the move and come in and out at the same time.
Brian Little.
So now we're just going to head back over to PixArt, and we're basically just going to play with the perspective on a Polaroid PNG and the photo. As you know, in the second background, the phone has a different perspective. So I was thinking just to spice it up a little bit, we can do a Polaroid picture with just a little bit perspective on it. So I am going to screenshot when I find a perspective that I like. And that's because when I do a picture to put in it, I'm going to have to do that same perspective to make it fit in that Polaroid PNG. So So now I'm just looking for a place to put it, and I think it'll look best in this corner right here. I am going to go back to Fonto and make a whole different title, and that title is going to be natural hair, because that is essentially what I do mostly on my YouTube channel. And if you do gaming or if you do vlogs, you can probably put vlogs in there, but for me, I am just going to put natural hair. And then I'm just going to take out the background and place it onto the Polaroid PNG. For the last two parts, I did start a whole new project, and I basically did the same thing I did in the one before this. I just switched it to the other side, added some new transitions and things like that. For the outro, I'm just going to put a full body picture on both sides like I did in the very beginning, and then I also did the same thing with the words at the top like I did in the beginning. I put a bold "thanks for watching" and then the cursive handwriting "thanks for watching." And yeah, I'm just gonna look up a subscribe green screen. I want the ones that have the buttons, so we're just gonna find that. We're just gonna chop the top and the bottom off, because you know when you screen record it's gonna be black. And then we're gonna put it back into CapCut. We're gonna chroma key the green out, and then that's it. Now I'm just going to show you guys the preview. And that is it, y'all. I just want to say thank you for watching this video. Like if you haven't already, comment if you're going to do this, if you're thinking about doing it, or any suggestions for future videos. I'm always open. And make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up with me and to see all the videos I'm going to post and to be notified about them. And I will see you guys in the next video.